Good and you? Welcome back to New Hampshire Vintage. My name is Wyatt.
I'm Troy.
And today we have a pretty special video. We're going to pick up a Artic Cat on a trailer I also bought. And I paid $200 for this Artic Cat. And I'm not going to tell you the model yet. We'll wait till we get there. But we have some work to do on that trailer. The tire's completely flat. So I got Troy to come along with me today. And we're going to try to get this thing back home. Luckily, it's not far. So let's just get right at it.
Well, it's been a couple days. We're finally dragging this El Tigre into the middle of the shop. I can't put it on my lift because I have a indie trail on there. It's actually my brother's little side project he's been doing. But yeah, that's okay. We can go back to our roots and work on this thing right on the concrete here. I'm hoping it doesn't need much. The guy told me that it was running and riding 2 years ago. But you heard that, ran when parked all the time. So let's bring you guys in and let's do a quick walk around on this El Tigre and take a look, see if there's anything in the back. Maybe he put a couple grand in there for us. That'd be nice. But I got to figure out too how to get this dried duct tape residue off. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, overall, seems pretty clean. Let's get you guys in there. All right, the El Tigre. This is actually the first El Tigre I have ever owned, and also the first free air that I have ever owned. Starting at the front here, skis, you know, they have a little bit of the rust look, surface rust starting to show, the paint starting to wear away, but overall they're in really good shape. It does have the little shocks that don't know if they do anything or not, but they're there. You can see it's been New York State registration back in 07. Hood is in really good shape. A little bit of scuffs there. I think there's another scuff on the other side. It definitely needs a quick rinse. Yeah, there's a scuff there. But no cracks, no missing chunks. Windshield is also in really good shape, minus the duct tape. We'll look underneath the hood in a second. And looking at the back here, got our gauges, gas cap, 4,157 miles, or yeah, I think that sounds about right. He said it was around 4,000 miles. Looks like we have heated hand grips, which is my guess there. Our RPM tack gauge. Looks fairly dry in there. It smells fairly dry. So hopefully that's good. Could be a good or bad thing. Either it's leaking or they tried to properly store it. Seat's immaculate. A couple little, you know, I wouldn't say immaculate actually. There's like a little burn spot or schmoo right there. And then a couple little spots where something's been sitting for a while, but no major rips, you know, no tears. Overall, it's not faded. Looks pretty good. Let's see what's going on in the back here while we're focused on the seat. Let's see if I can turn your guys' flashlight on here. What do we got? We got straps. Of course, we have straps. It's an Artic Cat. Tangled up in the strap mouse nest here is a spare belt. What else we got? That's about it. We got looks like maybe a spark plug doodad and wiring. But overall, that's about it for in there. Oh, we got some straps out of the deal. That's nice. Let's take a look at the track here. Slides look to be in good shape. Bogey wheels look to be in good shape. That shock has a little bit of a leak going on, but that's okay. Track though, that looks to be in good shape. Handlebars are there. They're not bent, which is good. Now let's look underneath the hood here. This hood opens up funky. I keep thinking it's like a hinge is broken, but it's supposed to be kind of off to the side. There it is. The Artic Cat Spirit 5000. You got some fuel lines there going to the little Cooney fuel pump back there. Look at those fan cooled, or sorry, look at this free air heads on this thing. Look at the fins on this bad boy. Oh, we got more of that deteriorating foam. Get rid of that. This thing overall though is extremely clean. More duct tape residue stuff, but besides a little bit of the foam kind of falling apart here, must have came off the hood. Man, this thing is extremely clean. Like no mouse nests. The carbs are in wicked clean shape. We're gonna dive into those. The rubber boots look good. The head looks good. Takes BR9 ESs. Well, that's what's in them. So I think I have brand new of those we can put in. Overall looks clean. This fuel line's extremely hard, so it's pretty old. Probably gonna take those off and put some fresh lines in, even though I think I don't have the clear right now. I might have the black rubber lines, but that's okay. Wiring, you know, I don't know what this is. Maybe the key was bypassed. That would be, yeah, that's the key. So the key's been bypassed. So that's all right. Maybe it doesn't function that well anymore. So you'd have to shut it off by that and it just turn on there. But overall, seems like it's in pretty decent shape. of these clutches. Yep. It's a little bit of corrosion there, but nothing, that'll be wiped right away when the belt goes, like 2 seconds. It's no major rust or anything. It's just a little bit of corrosion pitting. Hopefully that doesn't affect the actual clutch itself. Definitely has some powder on it, but I think it'll function just fine. Oh, it wants to stay closed on me. But overall, this thing looks like it's in fairly decent shape. Even has the original airbox, which is cool. So we're gonna have to see if we can get that guy off, and then dive into those carbs there. So overall, pretty good shape for 200 bucks, I would say. I just say we pop some fuel lines in it, check the carbs, and new set of spark plugs, and put some fresh gas in it and see if it takes off. And so first things first, I just want to dive into these spark plugs. Oh, just see what they look like. Just curious before we start taking everything apart. Never know, it could pull these out and everything could be full of rust. Oh wow, actually looks really good. I'll actually show you this. So, you know, she's been used, but it's not super oily. It's a nice brown. That's a nice burning plug right there. Take a look at the other one. Hopefully the other one is in the same shape. Yep, the other one's in basically the same shape. Slightly more oil, nothing crazy. I'll show you. Of course, I'm going to put brand new one. Well, these actually, I think these had a couple pulls of runtime. There's a little bit of, but it should be just fine. They're basically new. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to take a look inside the cylinder while these are out. So here's the PTO side. I know it's kind of hard to see. Cylinder is kind of up almost all the way. And then we got the mag side here. Cylinder walls look good. A little bit of carbon buildup on the edge there of the piston. Oh, took a photo of that. But overall, it seems all right. Cylinder walls look fine. They're not really scored up. Definitely, you know, it's not brand new. But there's no rust or major scoring up that I see, which is good. So this is just a little bit of oil. I like to just spurt a little bit. Nothing crazy, just a little dab. You can dump mystery oil in there or whatever, but I just like to do a little bit of oil, just kind of help wake up everything in there. And we're going to be doing a little bit of pulling. So I say what we do real quick, since we're here with spark plugs and all that, is check for spark. Might as well get that out of the way. So let me unscrew these plug caps, put that in, and check for spark here. You guys might not be able to see it. I do not see any spark. So it's been a couple hours. I've been doing some deep dives, testing, figuring out what's going on here, and I honestly don't know. My guess, it's two causes. It's either the coil, or what I really think it is the CDI box. So you got your CDI box here, and then the coil is right there. These can go bad, these CDI boxes, especially when they're, 40 years old. And this one's a original one. Unfortunately, it's a 2-year only CDI box. I would have to change out the flywheel, the stator, the CDI box, and the coil to go to a pre-80 if I wanted that to work. Or there's uno, that makes a aftermarket high-end CDI box. It's $200, the price of the sled. But I ordered that, and while I was there, I went on eBay and just bought a SPI coil as well. So we're gonna throw the parts cannon at this thing to get it running. I still think I'm doing fine. It has updated ignition in it, but while we're waiting on those parts to come in, because that's gonna probably be a week or two, we might as well just make sure the carbs are good to go, put new fuel lines on this, and so all that is good. So all we need to do is just swap over the electrical parts and get this thing fired up and running. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, it's been almost 2 weeks since I've seen you last, and we got some updates here. Well, not really updates, but we got parts, and I'm hoping to see this thing spark tonight. And I haven't got to the carb or the fuel lines yet, like I said in the past. I wanted to make sure spark was good and focus on that, then we can obviously move on to the next thing. And this is it right here. This is New Tech Electronics LLC fire plug. If you go to www.cdibox.com, there's a whole bunch of these CDIs that he makes, homemade, really good quality. Even has a date on it. All the wires that we need. This thing was pricey though. It cost the price of the sled, $200 just for this box. So I'm hoping this is the solve. I usually don't like just throwing parts cannons at things, but I got that. I also picked up this, which was a lot cheaper, and it came the next day. This is just a new coil. It's a SPI coil, just a aftermarket coil. So we're gonna do the box first and see if the spark's really good. If not, we probably change the coil out too. But nonetheless, let's just get right to that box there and get that all rewired and ready to go. Turn my radio down so I don't get a copyright strike. So we just get these two nuts off of there. I'm guessing those are a 10. And we just simply unplug, and the ground will come off when we get those nuts off, as well as this wire holder. Don't want to go too tight, just going into aluminum there. Okay, then this should just be as simple as plugging it back in. It's like a plug and play. It goes back around the wire holder so they're out of the way. Okay, with that in place, we can now see if we have spark. I'm hoping we do. Man, I really jammed that on there. Okay. Let's hope here. Hard to tell. I might have to turn my lights off here. I know I don't have you guys positioned correctly, and also it's dark now. seeing if this key is bad, because it was so the key was jumped, so maybe the key is bad. So I'm just going to quickly use this jumper wire that the previous owner made. I'm going to see if that does anything. Oh, we have spark. Yes, very hard to see, but we do have spark. Oh, that's good news. Wow, that's very small spark, but I don't know. I might change this coil out anyways. But rarely the coils are bad. It's other things. So maybe I just sell the coil with the sled, because this sled will be up for sale. And just say, hey, it comes with a new coil. Because I don't really feel like diving into that. So that's good news. We got spark. Faint spark, but we have spark. But I think that's just how they are. I think the faster it goes, the more it sparks, if I remember right on these things. I don't know. I'm not an expert. So now we can make our way over for, I guess we can do fuel lines and dive into the carbs here. Finally got snow again, so I'm hoping to ride this thing tomorrow. I'm going to put this old CDI box in the back, all the other goodies, and we just got to know that key. Hopefully the kill switch works. I'm hoping that does. Okay. Hey, I got a few things out of the way. Got the boots off, or the air intake boots, or whatever you want to call them. We're gonna take the zip tie off. We're gonna take this old line out. It goes underneath. I think this is the original line. Maybe not with the zip ties, but all right. So I got the air intake boots off. That goes from the air intake to the carbs, and then I took out the little like air deflector gizmo out of the way. So now we have access to our fuel lines. These are stiff, so we're going to take this off here, try to be very gentle, because that's a plastic fitting, and we're going to just get this guy off, and we're just going to change everything, even the vacuum line there that goes to the crankcase to run the fuel pump. I'm going to hope that that fuel pump is good. Usually they are, depending. It all depends, but most of the fuel pumps I ever dealt with, I never had to rebuild. They just work pretty good. But if not, I think I have another one, but we could always order one up or order a rebuild kit. So let's get these carbs off first, so we can get some more room in here to get all the fuel lines resituated. Take a look at our slides here. This actually look pretty good. I'll gently put that one down. See if we can bust this. There it is. That one's a little tight. Easy. That one looks good too. Gently just put that down over there. I like to mark one of the carbs. Sometimes one is a little bigger than the other, like it has a bigger jet or it has something. So I like to mark the right one, and it's just good to know which one goes in the right spot. Even if they're identical, sometimes they're tuned slightly. Who knows? It's just good reassurance. But nonetheless, let's see if we can get this loose here. Tell you what, I do like working with Mikunis a lot. Come on. There you are. See if I can get this one. Ooh, that ain't good. That's gonna set us back. Artic cats, they just love to fight me. That's why I don't work on them much. But we ran into a snag, and let me show you what's going on here. So carbs are out. Well, you can see one of these boots was completely ripped. This one's all right, but that one was completely ripped. It had a nice dash here, and as I was taking out the carb, it ripped completely, and you could feel on the back, you can see here, on the back, it's very gooey, like someone tried to do a quick like patch on it. That's what I'm guessing. So I'm hoping this cylinder didn't run like super lean and get too hot. There is some evidence like it's a little bit darker here. I don't know if that's like heat or whatnot, but I'm hoping this side isn't blown up. I might do a compression test, see what's going on. But nonetheless, we're gonna get both these off. I did order a new set of boots. I was gonna tell you guys before that happened, while the carbs are off is a perfect time to inspect your boots or replace them if they're old. You're already in here. But yeah, we're gonna have to replace ours anyways. So, good times. Good times. Artic cats. All right, I have the car boots off. I just need to clean up the surface area there when I'm ready to put the new ones on, and I'll put a new slab of adhesive on there, or RTV on there. But we need to get these fuel lines all done, as well as the crankcase line. So those are good to go. And unfortunately, these boots are like a week and a half out shipping wise, the ones I ordered. So I'm gonna see if any local shops might be able to get a set in a little bit faster. But nonetheless, we can keep going with that, as well as make sure these are all squeaky clean. So we're good to go there. So all we'll have to do is put the new boots on, and then we can fire this thing up. I wish I knew these boots a week and a half ago, because then I would have had those in, but oh well, what can you do? Okay, just a little update. I changed the intake fuel line. The filter was great, the weighted filter that keeps the line on the bottom. So I reused that. New intake fuel line, put new gas resistant thread sealant on this crossover nipple. I don't really know the proper term for that. You know what I mean. And then, because it's plastic on plastic, and then new fuel line to the pump. The pump's just loosely in there because I still got to do 2 fuel lines to the carbs. And also I did a new crankcase vacuum line. So that's good to go. And I will put, let's see, I can't think today. I will put hose clamps on everything. I just want to make sure everything works good before I go and tighten everything down. They are pressed on there pretty tight, so should be fine. There was no hose clamps when I took them off, but I will make sure of that. Yeah, we got to clean the carbs, and also I'm still waiting for these boots to come in. That should be in tomorrow. And then when we put the carbs on, then I can run the carb lines. I mean, pretty easy stuff here. That's why I haven't really been recording it. But we're gonna move on to the carbs now, because we're kind of at a standstill here. Seems like these videos have been Mikuni videos. So these look extremely clean. I'll just show you inside, do a quick cleaning on them, And if I run into anything, of course, I'll bring you guys in. Pretty clean, a little oily, but nonetheless, actually extremely clean. So I'll just go through this, make sure it's all good to go, and we'll do the other one. All right, carbs are all clean. They were surprisingly in really good shape. The main jets on both of them were plugged up with what I believe to be just oil residue. I brake cleaned the whole thing. These didn't warrant being soaked in cleaner. The bowls were immaculate, just a little oil left over, so cleaned all the oil out of it, and everything's moving freely, and there was no ethanol residue, nothing like that, nothing was sticky. So, and they actually look really good. So also a little note, when you're working on Mikunis, invest in a JIS screwdriver set. These Mikunis, even though they look like Phillips, are actually Japanese standard screws, and that's why you see a lot of these stripped out, because a lot of guys just use Phillips, and these JIS screwdrivers just fit in a lot easier. I don't know the whole geometry with it, but they cause them not to strip out, basically. So we are at a standstill now. We're still waiting on these carb boots to be put on. I started cleaning the intake, or the surfaces, and I still got a little bit more to do. And then I'm going to take some gas resistant RTV, and we'll just kind of coat this whole thing with gas resistant RTV to give it a little bit extra help. But I'll continue cleaning these, and once the parts come in, we'll get back to you, which I'm hoping is tomorrow. It's been a couple days, and it's also been the battle of the carb boots. And oh man, I just can't catch a break with these Artic Cats. I ordered a set off eBay that was supposed to fit the carbs, and it might have been my fault. I might have measured wrong instead of measured outside to outside. Let me just show you. So on these carbs, for measuring boots, you want to measure outside to outside, and then you can get the proper boot fitment that fits over, obviously, the over the carb, and yada yada yada. Well, I ordered the ones, I saw VM32, so I was expecting, okay, it's a 32 millimeter, didn't even measure or anything like that. Well, it is a, let me get my thing. So this actually is a 38 millimeter outside, and the ones that I ordered here are they're actually a 38 as well, but they are not correct center bolt hole. The center bolt hole here, this one here is about 72 from center to center, actually a little bit more, 74 give or take, and on obviously this one's like 64 from, oh, hang on, let me get it, 60. So a lot different, way smaller. I guess it would have fit through here, but it's just not the right boot, which sucks. So I did what I should have done, and I called a local power sports place, and they don't have like the actual Mikuni ones, but they have aftermarket ones with all the specs, and we went through and measured and everything, and the new ones that should be in on Tuesday, it's currently Saturday, should fit. So I'm hoping that solves my carb boot dilemma. Those can go in the parts bin, and yeah, so do your proper measuring, and yeah, so we're delayed another few days on this. All right, let's check underneath here real quick. It's hard to tell with those rear ones, but at least these ones here, we can just see if they're spinning freely. And they are. Good. One back here. Yep. Okay, so nothing seems seized up. Just want to make sure before we take it out. And we'll see if those ones are. Just want to make sure everything looks tight. So looking underneath here, you know, besides a little bit of surface rust and stuff, it actually looks pretty good. The worst thing I can see is the shock here is leaking, so it's probably blown out. Not going to change that out, but my light just died. But nonetheless, looks pretty good. Track looks, you know, all right. Definitely seen some mileage, but overall, pretty good shape. All right, let's just see. Okay, none's coming out, so let's add a little bit until it comes out of the bottom hole there, and then we're good to go. All right, just adding some Chaincase oil. It's a good thing we checked this. There it goes. So there was a little washer underneath here, like a little rubber, barely even rubber washer. I'm sure just kind of kept some of the, I didn't have any of that. I do have rubber O-rings, but not like washers. So I just used this leftover plastic crush washer for like car oil changes. It fit perfectly on the bolt, and I tightened it down, and I mean, technically it's designed to hold oil in an oil pan of a car, so won't that be able to hold oil at the oil fill of the Chaincase? We'll find out. But nonetheless, it's nice and tight on there. I think it will be just fine. And the bottom one already had a washer that didn't come apart, so and it seems like it's sealing pretty good, so we're gonna leave that there. And we can put the exhaust back on, and that took quite a bit. It was pretty low, so I'm glad I did that. Get some fresh Chaincase oil in there, and Chaincase will be nice and happy. All right, well, it's been a few days, and actually it's been about a week, and we got parts. I'm also trying a new camera. Let me know what you think. I'm using a Insta360 Ace Pro 2. See how it works. I heard good reviews on it, and honestly, I'm kind of sick of the GoPros. They're not the same anymore, and I'm not ready yet to get a big boy actual camera, so trying this one out, see how it goes. It has a weird face detection thing. I don't know. So here we have the old carb boot, intake boot. And here we have the new carb intake boot. I think I forgot to hit record there. But as you can see on the edges, I put a very thin layer of, as I drop it on the floor, of, this is just Moto Seal. It's basically Permatex gasket maker, but it's fuel resistant. So hopefully that just helps a little bit if there was any imperfections, which I'm sure there were on the engine block. Didn't clean them fully, but as you can see, it just gives it an extra little bit of seal to it. I think it'll work well, but I'm sure everybody does stuff differently. So I'm just going to tighten these down now, and then we'll put the carbs on, the fuel lines, and see if this thing starts off. So with every aftermarket part, you get a little concerned, as you know you should be, about fitment and how well it'll work. And I was a little nervous with these at first because they were a little loose going in there. When the OEM ones, they're like a nice tight snug fit to begin with before you clamp them down. But after I clamp these down, they're actually really secure. They're not going anywhere. So especially with the boots going to the air box, that should keep those secure as well. But I don't think there's any air going in between there. And then plus after the little bit of RTV Moto Seal I put on, I think these will be just fine. So we're gonna run fuel lines now from the fuel pump to the carbs, and then put the caps back on the choke, and then we're ready to fire this thing up. I'm excited. I now gotta find my fuel line. I have no idea where I put it. So before we fire this thing up, I just want to do a compression test on each cylinder. I don't really do compression tests if I know that there's, you can feel compression. But since this is a free air, I just want to see what's going on with it. Throttle open too. Uh, 140. Not too bad. The camera has a flip-up screen, so now I can see me. A little weird, but I don't know what this engine needs to be for compression, like what's healthy. I always had that, kind of the general rule of thumb is anything over 100 will run, but it's, needs a rebuild for two-stroke wise. But anything over like 120 is considered, okay. And obviously higher you go from there. I think 150 is pretty optimal. But 140, I'm happy with that. So now let's put the camera on that, and I'll bring you in after, but let's do the PTO side now. Throttle open, here we go. $150. That's a very healthy cylinder. So we are 140 mag side, and then PTO side we are 150. I'm guessing 150 is probably the optimal compression for this free air motor. But I'm happy with that. You don't want your compression being so off. 10 PSI, you're right at the cusp there. You really want to have it between like 5 PSI each, or you want to have like, 10 PSI isn't bad. But nonetheless, we do have compression. We are okay. And I think this thing's gonna fire right off after a few pulls. We gotta prime the system. While the spark plugs are out, I am gonna put a tiny bit of oil down the cylinders. I think I already did that, but it's been a couple weeks, so I don't remember. So I'm just gonna do it again just to be safe. Just so while we're pulling it over a million times, waiting for fuel to go through and stuff like that, it'll help itself out a little bit and save the rings and all that stuff. So let's pour some fuel down there, get everything all put back together, and let's pull this thing and see what happens. I'm excited now. Just putting the air intake boots on. Just because Makunis, sometimes if you don't have the air intake on them, they like to run a little funky. I noticed that in the past with my Polaris triples. You have the air box off and they like to kind of high idle, or sometimes even a little more than that. So we're just gonna throw these on real quick. Pulling, checking compression, looks like it primed the fuel pump. There we go. Okay. Kill switch is off. Key is obviously not working, so that's bypassed. And we'll do half choke, I guess, to start, but I am going to be prepared just in case if the kill switch doesn't work to pull these plugs, because I do not trust this thing yet, and I don't know if it's going to take off. So here we go. Woo! She runs, but definitely is idling a little high, which I'm hoping isn't the carb boots. Okay, I fixed the problem. These cables were adjusted way too high, so I adjusted them down. It's kind of hard to see, but I got the slide to go down all the way with the idle out as much as I can before it falls out. And then you get it, well, at least I did. I turned it back where when I just started turning the cable clockwise, you could see it start pulling up the slide, if that makes sense. So I tightened it right there. I did the same thing with the other one. Then I turned the idle in to where it just started turning up the slide. I got them both equal, and now let's start it up. Seems like she's idling pretty good now. It's right at around 1500. I don't know what these things need to be exactly at, but it sounds good to me. It's not too low, but it's not too high. So we're gonna leave it right where that is. I think that's adjusted pretty good. And once we ride it, we can do a little bit of tuning if we need to. But yeah, I'm gonna put the boots back on, get this thing off the bench, because we're pretty much done with this. Engine-wise, and let's clean her up. I'm hoping the brakes and all that stuff works. Kind of just going out of whim for that. Seems like it would. I figured these little carb boots would be a giant pain to throw on, but after putting them on and off 10 times, really actually not that bad at all. Whoa. Well, now that we know that she runs pretty good, obviously we haven't drove it yet, just sitting here idling and revving it up a little bit. I think she's well deserved for a nice bath and spa treatment. I'm first gonna start by taking this old, dried up duct tape residue off the windshield. Guys, if you're selling your sleds, please don't leave duct tape and put a for sale sign on the windshield and leave it on there forever, because this is gonna really be a bear to get off. I'm probably gonna be working on this for the next couple hours, just getting the residue off alone. So I'll bring you guys in if I don't work too late tonight. Once we're done cleaning the windshield and we can actually clean the sled, because you're not gonna wanna see me take that off for the next 3 hours. I'm not really looking forward to that. What do you think? I gave her a little bit of polish on the hood, and it looked like it did something. It definitely made it a little bit more shinier. But I'm gonna finish her off with a little SC1. I know some people call this like new bike in a can. Well, it is new bike in a can. It's basically like a liquid wax in a way. You could spray it on everything. It's waterproof. It really cleans up like the windshield, the fiberglass tunnel underneath. It'll shine all that stuff right up, and it works good for a while. A lot of guys spray this stuff on like the inside of their tunnels and stuff like that to prevent snow buildup and stuff like that. So I also really like the smell of it. So we're gonna spritz this over everything, give it a final wipe, and she is gonna be all cleaned up, ready for riding. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect, but doesn't need to be. It's not a perfect sled. This is a nice looking sled. Very early 80s. So yeah, she cleaned up really nice, and I'm excited to ride it tomorrow. It's currently 9 o'clock at night, so can't really do it now filming wise as much as I'd want to. I want to wait, be genuine, have you guys see the first ride as well. But nonetheless, she's ready to go. So if she doesn't do good, at least she'll look good. So yeah, I'm gonna call it tonight, and tomorrow I'll see you guys when we take this thing for a rip around the yard. Pretty excited. Never driven a free air before. Well, it is the next day, and I just pulled the sled around from the shop. I actually haven't driven it, as you can see. I roll on away for you guys, but started up like 2 pulls when it was cold, put the choke on, and she runs, seems like she runs pretty good. We'll take her for a spin now and see what she does. Well, overall, I say this thing runs pretty good. It needs a little bit of fine tuning here and there. Clutch might need a little bit of adjustment. Carbs still might need a little bit of adjustment. I just don't really have a ton of room here to really do it. I really need a big open field with this thing. Not used to this these fast sleds I've been getting lately. So, but nonetheless, she runs and rides pretty good. Little smoky. That might just be my premix. Not sure, but I mean, more smoky is better than less, I guess. Still could be that residual oil still burning off. I dumped down the cylinders. I don't know. But nonetheless, for 200 bucks, not a bad little sled. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. It took a while to make it, so I got to start editing so I can get this out to you guys. But stay tuned. Still plenty of projects coming up. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon.